Hey, this is Nancy with Stonewall's Farm Yarns, back again. You'll recognize this puppy right here. It is a skein of our local merino yarn. Wonderful stuff. And so the first video we did our long tail cast on, and we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 stitches. Not like that's gonna make us a sweater or anything, but what we want to look at now, since we did the cast on, now we want to do what's knitting. Okay, so we're gonna put the left hand, the working needle, up through the stitch, and make sure, I mean, my long tail isn't very long, so it's easy to know that I've got the wrong piece, but make sure you have the one that's attached to the ball itself. And so we're going to go up through the front of the stitch, but back behind this needle, loop around and pull it through the front. And there's a little kind of song that goes with this. I have no idea what the tune is, and you can be thankful for that. But it's in through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, and off jumps Jack. Nobody taught me that when I was a kid, but I probably would have thought that was cool. In through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, and off jumps Jack. I think that's pretty neat. So you're going up, right? You're not going down into the stitch. You're going up into the front of the stitch. You're not going behind the stitch where you're going to catch both of them. So you're just catching that front part of the stitch, wrap it around counterclockwise around that working needle. And this is the working needle because it's the one that's doing all the grabbing the new stitches. This one's just losing stitches, the left-hand side. And of course there are people who work the other way. It is knitting. There's no right way to do this. But up through the front, run around the back, and bring it through there, and then take it off. Something that happens a lot with new knitters is, well, first of all, is that you try to just put the yarn straight through the needles like that. I'm losing one here. There. You have to wrap it around and come through. Another thing is you get through the window and Jack doesn't jump off. And so now what do I do? Do I do this again? What? And you see, and I'm making a mess here, which of course is how I think knitting lace got discovered, was by making mistakes. But so I think it's always a good thing. But if you want your knitting to be straight and smooth, this is the way to do it. Come in the front, and you'll notice, if I can just slip this stitch off here and maybe get that yarn out of the way. The stitch is eventually going to lie flat facing you. But while it's on the needle, the right-hand side of the stitch is in the front. And that's just generally referred to as the way stitches should present themselves. They should be. So you don't knit into the back, you knit into the front of that stitch. And if you do some other things, okay, well here, did my 9 stitches. This needle is all done. This needle's all full, this one's empty. So now we switch hands. So the one with all the stitches goes to the left, and the one that doesn't have anything now becomes the working needle. So up, I'll just do that, in through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, off jumps Jack. Now what happens if I just do this? What happens? Ooh, the stitch is twisted. When it's flat, the back stitch is in front. I mean, that made sense. The right-hand side of the stitch is in the back, and the left-hand side is in the front. And if I did that, then the stitches would end up being twisted. So we'll get into that with a troubleshooting video not too far in the future. But as we're doing these stitches, in through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, off jumps Jack. As we're doing these stitches, we got a bumpy row here, right? And then we got a smooth thing. Well, that's because if we're doing knit stitches, we're making a purl stitch in the back. Purl stitches are the purl bumps. Knit stitches are flat. If I'm knitting every row, and because we turn the needle around, turn the work around, and work the other direction, then we get a bump row every other row and a smooth row every other row. So up, around, out, and off. In through the front door, run around the back. I like that one. I did that too fast though. See, it's just, we slow down if we talk too much and we lose our place. So in through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, off jumps Jack. In through the front door, run around the back, out through the window, off jumps Jack. And again, it gets to just be muscle memory, and this gets to be something that you can just do while the TV's on and you're talking to family or you're on the phone. You can just do this. But this is what this ends up making, is called garter stitch. It's a nice stretchy thing. It's one of the stitches that lays completely flat, works really well for a scarf because it's exactly the same on both sides, so it's reversible, and it's bumpy and warm and cuddly and just a nice stitch. So that was the knit stitch. Thanks. See you next time.